Hello. So today I'm going to do a quick segment on pansexuality. What is it? Who is it? How does it work? So I identify as pansexual, and this is a term that is not well known in a lot of circles. Definitely well known in some circles, but amongst my parents' generation and before that, people are often confused. They say, what does this mean? Are you attracted to pans? My high school friends made some jokes about that one. But no, I do like a good fried egg, but I am not attracted to pans. Pansexuality means that I am attracted to anyone across the gender spectrum. So I could be attracted to a cis woman. I could be attracted to a trans man. I could be attracted to a gender fluid individual. Basically, someone's gender identity is not a limiting factor in who people who are pansexual are attracted to. So then people say, well, isn't this basically bisexuality? And the answer is yes, it is. But I'd say that the biggest difference between the terms bisexual and pansexual are that bi is the root. Bi means two, and so it implies man and woman, and so the term bisexual doesn't necessarily take into account people who are gender non-binary or gender fluid, and so that's why I choose to identify as pansexual, because the root word pan comes from the Greek root meaning all. And so pansexual, all sexual, bisexual, two-sexual. However, I would say that especially now, bisexual, I sometimes identify as bisexual and have a lot of friends who prefer that label, and they would consider themselves attracted to anyone across the board. So I think that the term bisexual, meaning attracted to just men and women, has more or less phased out, and I'd say for the majority of people that I know, actually everyone that I individually know who identifies as bisexual, means when they say that, they're saying that they're attracted to man, woman, gender non-binary individual, like anyone across the spectrum as well. So these terms are pretty interchangeable, and the reason that I sometimes say bisexual is to people who, in my family, who I've maybe explained pansexual to, but they don't really understand it, or if I just don't want to have the conversation about my sexuality, because sometimes I don't, so I'll just say, oh, I'm bisexual, because that's something that is more in the vernacular for a lot of people. There really, as far as I understand, isn't a difference between being bi and pan, unless you are choosing to look into what bi and pan mean in terms of the root words. And one really important thing to mention is that when people hear pansexual and aren't familiar with the term, a lot of times they think that pansexual is equivalent to polyamorous. Totally different thing. Polyamory is having more than one sexual or romantic partner at a time. And pansexual does not imply that. You can be pansexual and be in a monogamous relationship. I'm actually in a monogamous relationship right now as a pansexual person. And as a pansexual person, I have also been in polyamorous open relationships in the past. And so basically, what's important to know is that pansexual is about who you are attracted to, not the way in which you love. Whereas polyamory is about how you love. And maybe I can talk more about that in the future, but that's basically it. If you're pansexual, you're attracted to anyone across the spectrum. I really like that label. I know people who don't like having labels at all, which totally makes sense. But for me, being able to say that I'm pansexual has allowed me to more deeply understand my sexuality and kind of claim it for myself. So that's all I have to say. I'd love to hear if anyone else has any thoughts on pansexuality or bisexuality and what you like about those terms.